And I told you so. I'm a kid in the candy store. Put the leather on the denim. I ain't the cure, I'm the venom. If you wanna find me, find the taillight. Something's coming in, you're gonna wanna take a red eye. It's time to go. It's time to go. Get ready. Get ready. Get ready. Don't blink, don't blink. Get ready. Get ready. Get ready. Don't blink, don't blink. I don't wait for nobody. I'm a summer name on the dotty. City lights call my name, drawn to the flame, and I'm feeling kinda naughty. I hit the ground running, step out the door and I'm stunning. Better hold tight cause you know what's going down. I'm setting the pace cause this is my town. So get ready. Get ready. Get ready. Don't blink, don't blink. Get ready. Get ready. Get ready. Don't blink, don't blink. Get ready. Get ready. Get ready. Don't blink, don't blink. Get ready. Get ready. Get ready. Don't blink, don't blink.
What it do? Oh wait. Sorry. What it do, beef stew? Did that work? Gosh, I have no idea. Hi everybody. Welcome, LGL fam. Welcome to Let's Get Live without Doc Rock. I am not Doc Rock, your content creating coach. I'm Keely Dunn of Discord for Creators, and this is a takeover. Oh boy, my timer scene just decided to go away. So we're rocking, we're rolling, everything is just fine. Doc is away because he is repping Ecamm Live at Social Media Marketing World in San Diego. So make sure you head over to the Ecamm Live YouTube channel to catch all the hijinks and shenanigans, of which there shall be many. Okay. Also, Doc Rock's Instagram. There's a few things going on there, a little behind the scenes. So make sure you head there too and check out what he's doing. But hey, so Doc goes flying off to San Diego and he forgot to lock the screen door. So I snuck in the back and I thought, well, I'm just gonna make myself comfy. It's really nice here. So I'm gonna talk about Discord for a few shows, So today we're gonna talk about some server setup things when you are a content creator with courses. On Tuesday, we're going to dive more into membership type issues. And on Saturday, boy, I'm not sure what we're going to do, but we do have a very special guest and everything is going to be super awesome. So I hope you stick with me. I know that I'm nowhere near as handsome as Doc Rock, but let's work with what we got, okay? You might be wondering what the heck Discord is if you haven't been on any of the shows where I've been talking nonstop about it. And you might be wondering what it's for 15-year-old gamers, right? Well, it isn't anymore. It used to be. It absolutely used to be one of those things that the kids had all in their embrace. But just like with everything on the internet, the olds are taking it over and we're wrecking it. So it's pretty exciting. So you're seeing schools and universities using it to deliver their online education. You're going to see brands giving tech support for their various products and services. You see content creators growing and monetizing their communities, which is why you're here, why I'm here, and why I've brought a very good friend along who has poked his toes in the whole Discord waters, and he's ready to go all in I believe he is. Anyway, let's see if we can talk him into it. But everybody, please give a big welcome to Alec Johnson. Ladies and gentlemen, wait. It's a celebration, right? Alec, thank you so much. Okay, I'm just going to stop that. Thank you so much for coming in. It's great to see you. You've had a bit of a day or a bit of a yesterday.
Just a little bit. A bit of a yesterday, yes. Had a bushfire that came a little bit too close for comfort to my studio, but it's all good now.
Oh my goodness. So did you move locations? Because I know you were worried about your basement, or are you still in your usual spot?
So I moved out of my basement studio into this place where I am now, but then this is at the bottom of the garden and got a little bit close to this fire.
Or is it in
Hawaii? It's all good now.
I think
yeah. Well, I'm channeling my inner Doc. So
nice.
There we go.
Oh my God, that looks so good. So one of the things that we have today that is one of our little challenges is that I don't have full access to all of the comments, so I can't bring everything up on the screen through eCam the way that y'all are accustomed to. So hang with us, be patient. We are gonna do everything we can to see your comments in there. But I thought that we would kick things off, the two of us. Whoops, guess who didn't lock our scene? This girl. What we can do is just say hi to everybody and make sure that everybody understands who we are and who we're not, because we're not Doc Rock. And then we'll start talking about some jams. So let's see. Sammy Superstar first in, out of the gate. Good to see you, Sammy.
Top marks.
Absolutely. Have you met All Things YouTube, Alec, before? I think his name is Matt.
I don't think I have actually, no.
Okay.
Hello, Matt.
Well, good to meet you, friend. Good to meet you. Einar's here from Communication Social Media Live Streaming. Fantastic to have you. Silver Lining Home Place, thank you very much for being here, as always. Mr. Camera Junkie, thanks for being around. Mr. Moderator, Paul Duncan. Samantha Just Inspire, you've been popping around a lot lately, doing lots of work, so it's nice to see you for sure. And wait, you'll remember who howtorepair.com's real name is, right, Alec?
Yes, I would if I did. It's just slipping my mind,
Paul.
though.
It's Paul.
Paul. I know. I've chatted with Paul as well. I don't know why that just slipped my mind for a moment.
All good. There we go. Oh my God, there's a guy named Alec in the audience. What the hell's
How does
going
that
on with
work?
that? That is so weird. That is so weird. Okay. Jared, good to see you, friend. Todd of the Christmas Clatter. Well done on the name change. Alec, you helped him out with that.
Yep.
Yeah,
Always
absolutely.
helpful to be able to put a name to the channel.
Yeah, it's really nice, and it's a tough one. Hey, we'll talk about this later about channel names and presences and things like that later. But very, very cool. Homesick Mac, as always, you're here, and let's. Doc got pretty. Oh, Alec. That's a lovely compliment for you. That's fantastic. Okay, everybody. Oh, audio keeps dropping, said Paul, but all good now. Okay, please do let us know if there's something that we don't quite have going on. I'm going to sneak some sound in the background too, because I get soothed. Are you like this, Alec? Because you were playing with music last night in your live stream. And
I don't normally have it on my live stream, but I do always, like when I'm working and stuff, I always have something going in the background.
Yeah, like I already feel calmer. I started my background music and I feel, it's good. I like the little tunage in the back. There you go. Patrice, hey girl. Uh-oh. Damn it. Doc's calling the cops.
Oh, we've been rumbled.
Damn it. I need 10 more days, okay? 10 more days. Matt has avocado and oh boy. Okay, Samantha, good luck with that, keeping us in line. I sure hope that works out. Eva Johnson is here, the chanteuse, if I've said that correctly. I've only seen the word written. I don't even know if chanteuse is the right way to say it, but there you go. And yes, Doc is always pretty. Michelle, yes, I am your sensei. No, I'm just kidding. I know who you're talking about. Bing! There it is. Love it. Eileen's here. Good to see you. And sometimes the music gets too loud. Okay, well, let me know, Eileen, if these work. Nice grooves. Everybody's happy. Of course, the homesick was, or the homesick, the homesick's comment was directed at you. That's fantastic. Hey, there's no call on this damn stream. You mean there's no guest link that's provided to you, Doc? That's because I don't have a scene set up for you. Oh my goodness. There you go. Okay. How about we get things started? So fam, we'll do our best to keep an eye on the comments. If you have a question, do what the Paul Duncan is about to let you know about, which is put a Q colon in front, because it'll make it a lot easier in this chaos for us to find everything that we're needing to get to, because I want to make sure you guys get all of your craziness all sorted. So, Alec, take one tech. You have been just absolutely pumping out the content on your channel for... When was your 1 year anniversary now?
It's coming up in
May
the 14th.
Which is incredible.
Yeah.
So you're at 10 months now.
About 10 months, yeah.
Which is really crazy. What was it that inspired you to start a YouTube channel? What was the big impetus? I mean, we know some about your background, but I really want to get into what was it about, what pushed you over the edge?
So it was for some of my other work things that I do for some businesses that I'm involved with. I was creating basically course content, tutorial style things for clients or for different things like how to use platforms and so on. And so I was doing that the hard way for me, which was recording videos and editing it. And so I wanted to find a way to just do everything in one take to sort of speed up the flow, because I know that if I'm talking on a stage or telling somebody in person, how to do something, then I'm perfectly natural and can flow through it. But when I'm trying to record and edit, I always sort of second guess myself. So I call myself a recovering perfectionist, because I'm always trying to get over that sort of perfectionism that I had. And so found Ecamm Live and realized that could allow me to create these sort of tutorial style videos in one take, but I wanted a way to basically get better at that process. And so I figured that starting a YouTube channel about it and going through that process and doing tutorial style videos on YouTube would be a good way to sort of hone that skill, really. Yeah. And so that was the impetus for starting it. But then once I did start it, there was obviously all the other stuff that comes with YouTube, and finding that this is helping other people as well, a lot more than it's potentially helping me. And I've got to confess that wasn't my motivation originally. Obviously all of the course content that I create is to help people, but the channel, it was more a case of getting over myself and practicing. But then very quickly realized how much people valued the sort of stuff that I was doing, and so it's become like more of a focus of it, really, and expanding the channel to courses and all that sort of stuff to provide that to
that's really interesting, because it sounds to me like you started this for yourself, but then you kind of started building a community almost by accident. They just sort of came along. How did that kind of unfold for you?
I suppose it was you get a nice fuzzy feeling from people writing nice comments and saying, hey, this has really helped me. And it's nice. And it happened quite quickly, really, that there was a few people that just sort of, obviously my first few live streams were to nobody. But then, as time went on, I was starting to get feedback and people saying, it's really, it's helpful and all that sort of stuff. So it's sort of grown organically from there, really. Yeah, absolutely. So you started with tutorial videos and walkthroughs. You're actually quite famous for your 4-hour Ecamm walkthrough. What version was that you did the 4-hour jam? That was 3.8. 3.8. Yeah. Okay. And so 3.10 has come out, and you did a live stream yesterday talking about all of the jams. So you do all this in one take, and you say that you don't edit. What are you doing with that stream from yesterday? Are you going to edit that down a little bit, or? I'm going to chop the beginning off, but I'll probably do what I find is that the live streams have a sort of different replay rate than things that aren't live. So I'll probably make a standalone video that's just all about the new features as well. So I'll get that one done as well.
Fantastic. It was a really good walkthrough, Alec. I really appreciated it. So,
Thank you.
for doing it. And I know that any follow-ups you do are going to be super helpful as well, which is really great. So now that you've been doing all of that kind of content, we were talking earlier and you told me that you have started venturing out into courses. So what do you have coming up? You've talked about it a little bit, but let everybody in the audience know what's going on with your next big project release. What's happening?
Cool. Well, one of the things about that video that you referred to, the 4.5-hour eCam tutorial, was most of that's out of date now. There's lots of stuff in there that I was telling people how to go and make, overlays with little cutouts for our cameras in Keynote and all that sort of stuff. But since 3.9, you didn't have to do that. So I've always had this thing of I don't necessarily want to remove all the content from the YouTube channel, but then how do people know what's up to date and what isn't? And so I figured that having a resource where that everything's going to be continually updated and you're going to have the absolute latest information is probably a good way to go. So I was creating a Zoom masterclass, and then I was also creating an eCam component of that. And as I started building out the eCam side of it, I realized that is actually just a masterclass in itself on eCam. So I've decided that I'm launching that one first, which I did yesterday.
Okay.
So that's ecammasterclass.com, ecamlivemasterclass.com rather, or you can find it at my website, takeonetech.io, and then just go to the store. Yep. But that's basically, like sort of start to finish with the eCam, but then, some advanced use, how to use it for presentations. I use eCam primarily as well for going into Zoom and for team meetings and stuff like that, Teams meetings, and doing presentations and stuff like that. So it's really everything to do with eCam and what you can do with it. So I'll have to confess, I've still got a bunch of videos to upload to it. So there's 70 there at the moment. I've got another 30 to just finish uploading. But this little bushfire incident yesterday sort of stopped me from doing that. So
no kidding.
I'll get those up today though.
Okay, so if anybody's signing up right now, and big thanks to Paul Duncan for putting the link in the comments. I can see that it's there. If I pop over to the comment screen, he's got that there, so you can go and sign up. And oh wait, is that an offer code that I see that has been snuck in there? Special use offer code. Live March, 25% off just for this live stream. So make sure you go and have a look at that, but don't watch more than 70 videos in one day, I guess is what we're learning, right?
Yes, yeah. Fortunately, it was the first 70 that were in there, so
yeah, that would be awkward if you got to the end and you were doing the advanced stuff, and oh goodness, that wouldn't be good at all. So you've got the Zoom masterclass that's coming along too. What's your projected launch date for that?
That should be the end of next week, because I'd actually done most of that. It was just that when I started building the eCam part, I decided that let me just get that one done first and put that out. So yeah, Zoom should be end of this next coming week.
Yeah. Oh, perfect. And those two kind of work together, right? So what are you doing with those two classes together? Somebody signs up one or signs up for the other?
Yeah, so if you sign up for the eCam Masterclass, you'll get whatever you paid for that off the cost of the Zoom Masterclass. Because the Zoom Masterclass, I'm actually going to be doing a lot of advertising for it, promoting it to people in business so that they can basically level up their Zoom skills. And eCam is just such a massive integral part of that for me that anybody who does the Zoom one would get the eCam course for free as well. Okay. So that's why for people who sign up for the eCam course, then I'll give that as a discount if they did want to do the Zoom one at a later date.
Fantastic. Thanks. That sounds really, really good. And I guess that pulls us right into the topic of today's conversation, because my feeling is as soon as you start teaching people, especially in a structured course environment, you need to find a place where you can engage with those people that you're talking to on a regular basis. So what kind of things have you looked at in terms of supporting people and having a community around? Did you try anything like a Facebook group or anything like that before you've gotten to this point now? Yeah,
I have done other courses that are separate to this where we've had like a Facebook group, but there's issues with Facebook groups, namely, following along with conversation streams and all that sort of stuff. So it can be a bit tricky to manage. And then, especially if you are doing, say, from a course provider, and they've got one Facebook group for one thing, but then they're doing another course and they've got another Facebook group for that. It just becomes difficult to sort of, there isn't this sort of cohesive integration between them all, and so you end up with disparate groups basically. So I mean there's plenty of other issues with Facebook groups as well, but I mean, let's just talk about the Let's Get Live one. It's a great group of people, but I always find it difficult to follow conversations, because you see that if you go to the group specifically, you see the first however many as you're scrolling down, but then depending on what's getting commented on, certain ones float to the top, and so it's hard to navigate and find stuff, really, isn't it? So
absolutely.
I was a bit of a I wasn't anti-Discord, but I was apprehensive about Discord because it was just another one of these like unknown things. But I mean, what's happened in the server, thanks to you, the LGL server, it's just I mean, it's just amazing to be able to navigate around, and so it was seeing what you've done in there and in Doc server was just, it was just like a light bulb moment, really, thinking that is the way that I need to be going with the channel, but then also for the courses as well, because the courses are all on demand, so they're not like a thing where you have to come to Zoom classes and then it's not at a specific time. So you don't have that one-on-one interaction on the course itself, because it's just pre-recorded content. Yeah. But having the server to have that level of interactivity is something that I thought would be a great addition to it.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I feel the same way about all the Facebook stuff. I think the thing that has always frustrated me the most about trying to teach or engage with people, whether I'm a member of the community or I'm a leader of a community, there is that I can't search for anything. Like, people say amazing stuff that I want to refer back to, and I was like, oh, that technique to do this thing on a thumbnail, oh, I want to go see that again. And then you try to search in Facebook, and it is garbage. It's like garbage results. And I've found already with, so I started out with my own FH Empire server, and immediately, and especially because I'm really kind of persistent with my community about the language they use, so I make sure I'm like, no, we don't give nicknames to plays. We call them by their proper names, because it's going to help us go back and find references to those plays later on. So I'm, first I'm an officious pedant, but second of all, it's just really helpful for search. I'm just really like SEO sort of oriented in that way, which was awesome. So when you first opened up a Discord server, so LGL was the first one that you ever saw? Was that?
No, to be honest, I was in a couple of trading servers, so that's something I do in one of my other businesses. But so I was in a few trading servers, and to be honest with you, they really put me off Discord, because they didn't have the same levels of organization. There was probably too many people to be productive in one of them. There was like, I say that, I mean, there's like 35,000 people in one server. So it was just kind of like, it was overload for me as well in that one, because there's just too much going on. And so that was what made me think like, I don't know that this is for me, because it was just too much, basically. So that was when seeing the LGL one kind of reignited my interest in it, thinking like, oh, there is a great way to do this after all.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I've dipped my toes in a couple of other bigger servers. So Luis reminded me, Camera Junkie, in the chat, that Harry Mack, who's this freestyle rapper that I've been a fan of for quite some time, and Luis is a massive fan of as well. He was like, oh, Harry Mack's got a server. So I go into there, and there's 26,000 people. But actually, it's not too bad. And part of it has to do with filtering out information based on roles that you can give to people. So we're going to talk about that, because that is a really powerful way to make sure that the content that you're showing people and that they're engaging with on your server as it grows stays sort of relevant to them. So with your server itself, are you ready? We can pull up your server and we can kind of have a look at what's going on there. If you're,
yeah, sure.
Okay, I'm gonna press the scene button and see. All right. Oh, look at that. Who are
That's
those?
the last thing I posted. So I've got a channel in my my server which is basically guest appearances and other things. So I've just posted that in there.
Oh, that's
So,
fantastic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you're in the LGL server, then it will look familiar because I basically just copied Keely.
Which is just fine. It's kind of interesting. That's one of those Discord server things that I found when I bounce around to different places, that people have different conventions that they use to set up the channel names and things like that. So the one that I like the most, because it looks very uniform to me, and I like the left justification. I like the emoji with a pipeline and then the name. So this pipeline is a special character that actually builds some space around it, because one of the biggest problems with channel names is that they get very compressed. They like, because you can't use spaces in channel names. So like you found when you made your automation apps and studio gear and Ecamm Live, that Discord automatically inserts a hyphen in those names. So to get that kind of nice visual space around things, people use all kinds of different tricks, and I really like this one. This one was shown to me by a few people, and then when I wasn't too stubborn about it, I converted my FH Umpire server over to it and did it in LGL and thought, oh, this is dope. All right, I just want to check in on the questions here. Doc. So Keely, make people use the proper nomenclature. When you do that, people get twisted, saying you're being snobby. Nabby. Wait, nab. I'm trying to teach you the correct way. It makes finding answers easier. Yes, it is, right? And yeah, I mean, there's a lot to be said for being comfortable, being casual, and not getting all, worked up about things. But there's... I speak to an international audience. I know, Alec, you speak to an international audience as well. And Doc does too. And if we don't use, the right ones, the right words, we're going to start confusing people, especially those people who don't speak English as their first language, I think. So there you go. Okay. Eva is saying that she's still a member of the Facebook, and she knows that that's not where the action is. So Paul Duncan has put the link to Doc's server there. So please do, if you haven't joined yet, make sure you head over to that server. Gregarious has got a couple servers because, he's a boss. I mean, come on.
How you like that?
I wouldn't expect anything less. Greg is very, very cool. So
Greg's also said, how do we know it's Keely? Because there's no red in the background, but maybe we want to point out it's the Discord for creators.
It's the glasses. I still have the glasses. I actually have blue glasses on order, Alec, which probably doesn't surprise you at all. I'm very brand conscious and very color conscious, so I've got blue glasses coming. I just needed to really commit before I got new ones, but there you go. And yes,
Rocking
Eileen's
the
saying
Discord for creators brand today.
Yeah, there you go. Okay, so you set up your channels and your categories, and I think this would be a really nice time to be able to go through some of those things with people, because especially if you're really new to Discord, this might look a little bit. You might be wondering what the names are for all these things. So in the left-hand pane, or the server pane that you can see underneath Alec's Take One Tech, that he's got a number of categories lined up. So that's the place where he's got the dot and the see, now I want to use the proper word. Is it the M dash? Yes, it's an M dash. It's not a hyphen, right? When it's long like that. He's got the M dash.
This one here. Yes. Yep.
So, for example, you can see right there in the left-hand pane, he's got topical chat. This is what's topical today. That's so you. I love it. And so that is a category. And under that category, you can have any number of channels. You can have, tons. But that's kind of your file folder structure in a way, right? And so tell me about the topical chat and why you chose what you did in here.
Well, it was just around the sorts of things that I cover on my my channel. So I do obviously do loads of Ecamm Live videos. I occasionally do studio gear videos, like when I've got something new, then I'll talk about that in there. I didn't split that down. Obviously, this is more related to my channel and the sort of content I cover. So I'm guessing that any sort of studio talk that I do will probably just be in the LGL server anyway, but still. So then I do stuff about Stream Deck, then automation on the Mac is a big one. I've got a productivity section in there, which I see is different to automation, although, automation can make you more productive. Then I also on my live streams focus on, stuff to do with YouTube and monetization and stuff like that. So I've got a couple in there related to those. And then I'm all in on Kajabi now with the launch of my course. So I've got one here for as I'm building out my Kajabi site and Kajabi courses, then I'll be sharing what I'm doing around that. And I'm just sort of learning quite a lot with that. So I've got a section for that as well. But it's basically, I tried to split it down into just the different topics that I have on my site, because I'm conscious that, my YouTube channel, because I'm conscious that there's some people who come and only watch my Stream Deck stuff, and other people who tend to focus more on the eCam stuff and so on. So I wanted to keep those conversations separate.
Okay, that's
fantastic. Or at least categorized.
Yeah, and that's something. Gregarious is wondering why you don't have a Keyboard Maestro channel, or is that under automation?
Yeah, that's in automation, because the thing with Keyboard Maestro is so integrated into absolutely everything that I do on my Mac. It also works in with Keyboard Maestro, works with some text expander stuff, some other shortcuts on the Mac, and so because I use them all sort of together, and one thing often feeds into the other, I've just sort of grouped that into automation apps.
That's fantastic. I understand that. And I think that's something that we can all be a little bit aware of as we're starting our channels, starting our servers, is that we might want to come in and be very, I want to get all these categories in there and all these channels, and there's going to be all this discussion, things like that. But servers grow organically. And in my experience, you want to give shape and guidelines, and you want to kind of move things in a direction, but really it's your community who tells you what they want to talk about.
Yeah.
Right? Because they find they have their interests and what they value the most from you. So one of the things I think is really nice is that just because you create a channel or even a category doesn't mean that it has to stay forever. You can, if you find a channel you've made and it's just Deadsville, nobody is going in there because it's not really serving their needs, you can just quietly just delete it and get rid of it.
So the other thing about these channels as well were they're things that I would be posting in myself. So I see it as being a bit like a blog as well. So I always intended to actually have a blog that accompanied the channel, and then I was just so busy with making stuff for the channel and all my other work that I just never got around to it. Whereas with this, I feel like it feels a bit freer than actually feeling like, right, I'm going to write a blog post. I'll be quite happy to just drop in here like, hey, I've been checking out this new thing, or I've just figured out this, and actually drop that in. So it's also categories for stuff where I will physically be posting rather than I'm setting these up for the community to go and talk. It's kind of like these are the things that I'm going to be talking about.
Yeah.
And hopefully there'll be some conversation around it as well.
Right. I really like that idea. I hadn't thought about it from that perspective, and that's a really nice way, and that's part of you shaping the conversation and the culture and what direction your server goes in, is by saying, yeah, these are the things that I know I can share with you and I think you're going to find valuable, because you're not just talking for the sake of talking. You're here to share some information, and then people go, oh yeah, I really do want to learn more about automation apps, because I can see how they're going to make me a more productive content creator and reduce my insanity to manageable levels. So there you go.
And I often get questions as well. So people will either email me or they'll drop something in the comments, and they are like they can be categorized like this as well. So that sort of played into how I've done it. So if I get a question on email, then often I'll just make a video about it anyway. But if it's something that it doesn't really warrant a full video, then I can reply to the email, but also drop it into here as well with whatever the question has been, if I think it's relevant as well. No, that's a really good point. Gregarious just mentioning his advice is start small with the channel so people get to collate. And that's fantastic. That's absolutely it. Rich has a question. Is there a new Unreads button on there for admins?
I wonder if he's, so I'm a, I'm the owner of my server manager for LGL, you're server owner, and you're a mod for LGL. So I think what he's asking is whether we get notifications of everything. And basically by default, yes. But that's one of the really powerful things about Discord that I really like. And it's also another reason to set up these channels, is that people can choose to mute or not receive notifications for channels that they're not interested in, right? So yeah, I mean, I might be very uninterested. Thank you. Now, yes, he's picking it up.
I was a bit
Good.
slow on the
Demo.
uptake there. Sorry, Keely.
I didn't really. I was just kind of like,
right
should I
clicking.
prompt this? That's okay. So there you go. Yeah. So by channel basis, or even a category basis, you can mute content so you don't get notifications. So let's see, if you mute one of the channels, do you want to just demo it for us so we can see what it looks like?
Yep. So there you go. 15 minutes, an hour, 3 hours.
Yeah, absolutely, until you turn it back on. And then that channel shows up as dim. So I think what's happened, did you mute Studio Gear? Yeah, so it's really dim
They're
now.
both muted. Yeah.
Yeah, those are both muted. So you can see they're very dim, but Alec, if you don't go click on it, you can still go into the channel and still look. And so on a random day, you're like, oh, actually, I do have a question about Studio Gear now. You can go back into the channel and access all the content and all that kind of stuff. And check out the discussion, but you're not getting the constant pings and notifications, which can get a little bit much on a busy server, right? So there you go. There's a big button on Alec's screen, says Rich, that reads new unreads. Oh, I see. No, that's been there for some time, Eileen, and that just indicates that in that server there's something that Alec hasn't read. Now, if that unread content is in a muted channel, he's not going to get that notification. If it's in a channel that he does, like say announcements, then he will see that. But yeah, that's been there. Sometimes the interface is so, is so up there. There's a lot of things too. So let's see. I think it's only an admin thing. Interesting. Okay, maybe I don't. I'll have to double check
that new unreads comes up in other servers I'm in as well. If that's the button you're talking about, it's so that comes up in any server that I'm in. If I go there and there's something unread in a channel that isn't muted, then I see that as well. Okay.
And just another thing to point out, when you're in a channel that you've muted, you can see right at the top of the screen, in the center pane, that there is a threads button, and there's also, you can see notification settings, and there's a cross, and that tells you that channel is muted, which is very helpful there. And oh, lo and behold, you can right click on it and you can change your muting and notification options in there too, which is really great. So there's so many ways that you can go ahead and address your needs there. Let's see, Eileen, the button was red for you before today, now it's gray. Okay. How do you add the line symbol? Hang on, hold the phone. Good question, Sammy. How do you add the line symbol for so that's the pipeline, Sammy, or the pipe. And the way I do it is open up the emoji bar and then search for the pipeline, and it can't be the pipe character on your keyboard, which is the shift /. You don't want shift / because that's just a regular character. You want the emoji character of the pipeline, so you need to access your emoji keyboard for that.
And the difference between those two, by the way, is that the one that's on your keyboard doesn't have the extra spacing on either side of it, so it would have the same effect, but it would just look a little bit closer. So the one that you've used there, Keely, is It's just giving it a little bit more space and looks cleaner.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think we're gonna set up a couple channels just for funsies later, and yeah, we can use some.
By the way,
pipeline
the just some other channels that I added in here, and I've yet to see what the how this is going to go over, or whether it's a good thing or not. But
Yeah.
I also created a section that's just for all of my content related to the YouTube channel. So presumably people are here because they watch my stuff on YouTube. So I've got a link for. I was going to actually just automatically post all my YouTube videos, but I'm definitely not going to be doing that. So I'll probably just delete this one.
Yeah.
But I wanted a place for people to find, like when I have been on other shows like this one, and then video ideas. So some of these are people who are in the server can't actually post into them, so they just literally like updates on stuff. So guest appearances, for example. But then like video ideas is stuff where I'll be asking questions about video ideas, or if somebody's got an idea for a video that they'd like me to make, they can put it in there. And then I've got stuff related to like all the courses I'm doing. I'll have a channel for that. My affiliate links, because often I'll ask people, you know, hey, what's your affiliate link for such and such, because I'm going to sign up to something. So I figured, well, if I create a channel that's just got them all in one place, then I can just list them all there, but also like specifically why I like them as well and why I recommend them. And then also one for my like merch and stuff like that. So whether we'll have to see how this goes. But I was in two minds about creating kind of channels where the members couldn't actually necessarily comment, but just to keep it as a clean thing. So we'll see how that goes, or if that's
absolutely. And that's an interesting discussion as well. I'm gonna flip over to my screen for a second, so that I can show off my my own FH Umpire server, because there's a little bit of a discussion as to whether you want to really overlap your functions on social media and what you do out there on your Discord server. I'm taking the approach that my server is the kind of the bottom of my funnel, or it's further along in the journey. So somebody will have found me on social media. They'll be following me on Facebook or Instagram or Twitter, and then they'll see a link to a Discord server and they're like, huh, I like that Keely Dunn. I think I'm going to go follow her and figure out more about umpiring with her. So I assume that somebody who's in my server has already signed up for notifications about a lot of the things that I do elsewhere. And I don't necessarily want to keep that, to repeat that information, right? I want people to think or to understand that when they come into my server, they're coming for information engagement that they can't get out in social media. But if they want those announcements and they want that stuff, that's a great place to go. So what I've done is I only have in my announcements, I have events that I'm doing and only the occasional really big thing. I do have a calendar channel that just has this one entry. Nobody can post in it, but if somebody says, well, what's the calendar for FH Umpires activities, they can come in here and they can subscribe to it themselves. And then if they're, when I go live, so I've got a bot that will automatically trigger when I'm live, just as an extra, like, hey everybody, come to the live thing. But I'm trying not to repeat too much of the content. Now, that might not be the right strategy for everybody. I think it's working okay for me now. And part of that is just that I don't want to overwhelm. I want when people see that there's new content on my server, it's stuff that they're getting, special. It's me talking to them. It's us answering questions together and having a discussion rather than the standard sort of social media engagement. But that's those are different ways to do it, and I think it's worth trying everything and seeing what your community likes and what they respond to. So
I like the idea of the like auto posting, but for only the live streams. So originally when I set up that little YouTube channel on my server, I was just going to have it post everything, but then I thought, well, I can't do that because I'm posting sometimes like 2 or 3 videos a day. Having it where it's just only your sort of live stream to alert people to it, I think is
absolutely. So what we're talking about, gang, is that there's bots that you can connect to your social media channels, and they'll be like, oh, you posted something new on Instagram? Here, I'm going to post it on you know, your announcements channel for you and your server aren't nice and helpful. I think that's probably great for a lot of people, but for me, I don't want to do that. So turning off those bots or not turning them on in the first place is probably kind of a little bit helpful there. So there you go. Oh, I see. Okay, so Rich and Eileen are back channeling, and they think that the unreads button is a Nitro feature.
Ah, right.
Because I assume, Rich, what you're saying is that you've only recently signed up for Nitro. So, because Nitro is a membership that's attached to you. And then a boosted server is something that benefits everybody. But if you have purchased a Nitro membership, which is not necessary to use Discord, it's just one of those things that you can do, then you get some extra benefits like bigger upload capacity and the ability to use more emojis and custom emojis and things like that. So Rich has not done Nitro. Okay, interesting. All right. You know what, Rich? I am going to have a look at this, and I will post about it in the Discord for Creators server, which a link I'm sure will pop up in the chat very soon, and you can have a look. Okay, so Eileen has Nitro, but she's also boosted the server. Okay.
Yeah, thank you very much, Eileen and Dina. They both boosted my server yesterday, so much appreciated.
There you go. Thanks, guys. That's fantastic.
Yeah, thank you very much.
So I wonder if you get the alert for boosting the server. So you get that alert on that server. Right. Oh, I see what Rich is saying. Sorry, Rich. This is my problem. I was not following the conversation properly. He's saying, you mean I'm doing a live stream takeover on Doc's channel and I wasn't able to follow all the comments and I can't pull up onto the screen? Yeah. So that's why he doesn't see the button, but okay, fantastic. I am going to test this out because I've done the thing that you're not supposed to do, which is create more than one account just because I want to have a test account that is the bare bones person who has not been on Discord before and is a newbie so that I can understand that better. That's fantastic. Okay. So another thing I wanted to get into though, because we've talked about how channel organization and categories are helpful for your server members because they can select what notifications that they get. You can go one step further and you can restrict categories and channels based on roles. Okay, and this ties into, Alec, what you are aiming at with your courses. So I thought it might be cool for us. Oh, and some folks are wondering. Okay, I'm going to put a pin in that, Jason. Don't let me forget. JP wants me to talk about Nitro again. Let's talk about where and why you might want to set up restricted channels and categories in your server. So you've got your eCam masterclass launched yesterday, and are you thinking that you're going to set up a place just for those members to come in and talk in your server? Is that your plan?
I am, and I haven't done it yet. So yeah, that's exactly what I'm thinking.
Oh my gosh, like let's do this. We actually didn't really plan this before, so we're we're stumbling through as we go. So okay, so here's my plan. I think the best way to approach it is to set up the role first, and then to set up a category and then channels within that category. Okay, so this will be fun. We'll be able to demonstrate how to set up a role in your server once you are a server owner. So I know you know how to do this, Alec. So I'll just narrate as you're going along. So Alec is right-clicking, or he's pulling down on the arrow button on his server name at the top left-hand pane, and he's going to server settings, which is the gear. And now he's going to just below overview is roles. So he can click on that. And you can see this is kind of interesting. If you don't mind showing just Alec, I'm sure you're not showing anything. You really, am I not in a circle yet? I don't have that role. What?
So that's one of the levels on my Buy Me a Coffee. I've got on my Buy Me a Coffee, I've got a supporter, super supporter, but then inner circles for someone who has like ongoing coaching and stuff like that.
Oh, fantastic. Okay. So you're starting to talk membership stuff now too, which is what we're going to talk about more about on Tuesday. But yes, this is a way that you can use various other platforms that integrate into Discord and allow you to automatically assign roles to people who are subscribed as members on Buy Me a Coffee, on Patreon, on a Discord membership plan itself, which I'll be able to show you on Tuesday, and they get a special role. And then you can use that to give them access to special places on your server. Now, the Zapier and Buy Me a Coffee bot and Me6, those are bots. Those are helpful little programs that are doing this automation for Alex. So there you go. That's fantastic. I want to be a inner circle. Okay. So
I'll add you to everything. You know that, Keely.
yes. Yes. And just remember that if you're the server owner, you obviously have access to all these things. So you are the supreme being, the omniscient one, and you can't lock yourself out of anything. A server manager is pretty much the same thing. They just can't delete the server. So just keep that in mind. Server managers are very, very powerful people. And that's why you don't want to cross me on LGL. And you, but the one thing I can't do on doc servers, I can't delete it. But I can wreck everything else. Okay. Let's see what's going. I'm just going to check the questions and comments because we got a couple funny ones coming in here. So Rich hasn't done Nitro. We got that. Let's see. I don't see the message in Alec's server, and she's boosted it, says D. And is Nitro? It's a mystery feature. Yeah, I need to experiment with this and find out what's going on. So Nitro JP is a subscription to Discord. You pay monthly and you get benefits. I did talk about it in my last stream on Wednesday. So maybe somebody really nice will hit up that and add that link into the chat. That would be really cool. And you also get a discount. You get 2 server boosts, I think, by default. Is that right, Alec? I think it is. 2 server boosts.
I think so. Yes. Yeah.
And then you get a 30% discount on further server boosts that you pay for. And those are monthly subscriptions as well. So I don't know, I give Discord lots of money for server boosts because I boost my own server, I boost other people's servers and all that kind of stuff. So hopefully that's going to help. Let's see. What are some of the other ones? So we're going to deal with the unread posts. That's really interesting. Maybe you don't have any unread posts. Let's see. Is Rich in your inner circle and I'm not?
Do you know what happened with that? So I set up my thing on Buy Me a Coffee so that when people join, it automatically adds roles in Discord. But I inadvertently added the inner circle one to one of the other levels. So yeah, but obviously you're all welcome there. You know that. And Eileen as well is asking, is she on the Buy Me a Coffee level? So anybody who's in my existing Buy Me a Coffee supporters, I've got to send out the email to say, hey, click this link. But I hadn't done it just because I hadn't finished setting up the server. But I will definitely, of course, add you into that level, Eileen.
Yeah, there you go. GP also commented that you can't delete ourselves. You'll be okay then. Well, you actually can delete your own account, but you can't delete your account if you have a server. So JP, if you go out there and you set up your Cowboys Anonymous server and you then for some reason decide that you want to blow up your user account, you won't be able to until you've deleted your server first. So there's a little check and balance there. Paul is saying I got to giving Doc heart attacks. You haven't met me. It's kind of my job. There you go. No worries, JP. It is a long show, but hopefully... Ooh, have I put the chapter markings in yet? No, I get to do that today. I promise you, JP, I'll put the chapter markings in so you can go back and have a look. That's what you were talking about. So he's happy. Okay, cool. All right, let's get back to roles. So do you want to, and Alec, again, you know, this is your jam. So you can set this up just as a test, or you can do this for real if you want, and set up a role for your Ecamm masterclass.
Yeah, sounds good. That's exactly what I need to do. So good opportunity.
I'm here to make your work life more productive. So there you go.
There we go. Just like that.
Perfect. Okay.
Ecamm Orange.
Ecamm Orange. That's a good one. Now, one thing that I won't go into too much detail in because it's kind of it'll get really in depth, but your roles have there's a hierarchy on this whole list. So actually, you know, Alec, we're going to talk about how you've got some of your roles ordered at some point, because I want to make sure that you've got people in the right order so that they have permissions to do what you need them to do. But so with your Ecamm masterclass, you can change your color, and you can actually upload and assign a special emoji for that role, which sounds really dumb. Okay. But I got to show you this. I didn't want to do this on my own server. I thought, well, that's kind of silly. But when I went through and I assigned little emojis, you can see for all of these different levels, I got flooded. With people who are like, that's so cool. We love it. We've got a special emoji. And I'm like, okay, gamification is real, gang. And these little touches make it feel more fun and more at home and all that kind of stuff. So maybe someday Alec will create a custom emoji that he wants to assign to his Ecamm masterclass and do all that kind of stuff. Okay. So there's a few options with how you want the members to be displayed in your right-hand user pane. So with something like a standalone product or service that somebody's buying that gives them access to a different area of the server, I wouldn't necessarily display them as separately from online members, because I don't think I want to assign special like little categories in my roles for people who are continuing members. And that's kind of like the big thing, right? If somebody's in your inner circle, that's the thing that they want to be shown as, not as somebody who enrolled in the Ecamm masterclass. So there you go. And I don't allow anyone to mention anything in my server, because you don't want people getting pinged unnecessarily, accidentally. It usually just happens accidentally. So that can be a little scary. This is a good function. Have you tried this, Alec, at the bottom where you can view the server as that particular role?
I haven't, but then I haven't really done any actually assigning any differentiation. So I've created these other roles, but they don't have access to different areas yet. So I've only got the sort of bare bones of the stuff that's available to everyone. I haven't got around to actually developing anything unique for these different things yet.
Absolutely. So that bottom, that button at the bottom of the screen, gang, that is going to allow people, you as a server manager, to click on that, and then you'll be able to see your own server, but only with the permissions that role has been granted. So if you're like, can this person see this private area that's only for the moderators, I don't want them to see, you'll be able to check that out and make sure that everything's sorted the way that you want to before you start assigning people to the role, which is super convenient. I've taken advantage of that feature on my WordPress website and things like that, and it's just so good. Okay. Do you want to click on the permissions tab at the top, and we'll look at that next? There you go. So this is where you can see. So you might set up a role where a person is only a guest and they get to come in and see. So I've set up a visitor pass on my FH umpires because I want people who are interested in Discord to be able to see a really busy, vibrant server, but not necessarily post anywhere because, you know, it's just kind of weird. So I might go through and I might say, okay, you can view channels, and I obviously don't want them managing anything, but I might turn off, if you scroll down a little further, I might turn off send messages. And that comes a little bit later. View server insights, or maybe I have to do that in, no, there we go. Okay, that might be on a channel by channel basis.
Oh no,
there
it is. It's right,
Okay.
right at the bottom. Yeah.
I was getting freaked out there. I was like, oh. So I might turn off, if you turn off that top button of send messages, that means that that role won't be able to send messages anywhere in the server because this is a universal role permission. Okay. But that's probably not what we want to turn on here, because what we're going to do is we're going to give this role permission to see a special area. Okay. But you can see there's lots of little options about, like, you can fine tune these permissions to a absolute granularity that you didn't even know. That they can't use emoji reactions, but they could use external stickers. Why you would do that, I don't know, because stickers are terrible. But if you want to give a certain role limited managerial permissions, maybe they only manage a certain category because they are your course manager. You can do all kinds of stuff like that, which is pretty amazing. Okay, so there's a whole section for text channel permissions, and then there's a separate one, as Alec is scrolling through right now, for voice channel permissions. And voice channels are, as I've tried to constantly point out, should be called video channels that you can turn the video off on. But those are the places that you get to go in and hang out on video with your friends. You can stream to your people. You can have quick calls, quick meetings. You can have long calls, anything you want. I actually deliver my workshops now in Discord, in private voice channels that I give the course members access to get into. And then they just show up on the appointed day and boom, they click one button and they're in. None of this messing about with Zoom and all that kind of stuff. Okay. So do you think you're set? Are you saved?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
I've actually
Perfect.
just left it as a default, but yeah, it should be good for now.
Sure. Okay. Let's go back to your server. I'm going to check on the questions and make sure we haven't left anybody behind. Okay. Everybody's saying hello. Hannity and JP are hanging out together. Hannity and Eileen. And Hannity saying hi to Doc Rock. He's watching Manchester United now. Like, he's just, he's chilling. He's chilling. Carlos. Oh, Carlos, sir. You know that you have to put a Q colon in front of that. You're just lucky I just saw the really long sentence and I realized it was you. And so I wanted to pay attention to it. Is there a way to operate a Discord server effectively without the need for a deep dive? Is that possible? What do you think, Alec?
Well, to be honest, I mean, what I've set up was relatively straightforward to set up with obviously your help and guidance of in Discord for creators and that. But it's, I mean, the actual once you sort of get into Discord, it's, if you've just been and looked from the outside, it might seem daunting, but actually once you get into it, it's really a simple process, as we'll probably find out, like just going and creating some channels. So it's pretty straightforward, really, I would say.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. And I think that, I mean, I know people who have set up Discord servers for a group of 4 friends. So instead of using Facebook Messenger and a group chat with 4 friends, you set up one voice channel, one text channel, and that's it. And all you do is just turn off invites so that nobody else can invite other people in. You've got your 4 friends and you hang out, and that's it. So
it's coming back to what Greg said as well about just starting with, I mean, this is the way I approach everything, is trying to think about it and plan out everything. But as Greg said, just start with, you know, the basics and then build it up as the community grows and see what people want to have in there.
Yeah, absolutely. My experience was when I'm approaching actually, I should check what my actual date is. I think it's pretty soon. But my 1-year anniversary running FH Empires as a Discord server is coming up soon. And when I started, I've told the story about the kids who forced me to do it because they were like, this will be cool. And I said, I don't know what Discord is, but okay, if my people say they want it, then I'll listen. And we started slowly. And we started slowly with my knowledge. But having somebody to help out at the beginning is really helpful. And it's nice to learn from other people's experiences, but you can start really, really small and organically. And because you're not depending on an algorithm for discoverability, it's not about that. You do that on Facebook. You worry about your Facebook group going quiet because then people won't find it, or your Facebook page or whatever. You don't worry about that here. If it sits quietly for a few weeks or a couple months, who cares? Once it picks up, people come back to it. It's no big deal. So I think you can do just, you can start small and simple and not be concerned about it. What Alec and I want to show you are some of the cooler things you can do as a content creator, and show you that this is a tool that can replace a lot of other much more expensive options in a way that I think is really, really productive. So JP, in other words, we can decide just to dip our toes in the water, go on full on scuba diving. And Eileen, you're absolutely right. There are skills to learn, but you know what we do with language here in LGL. We don't talk about things. We don't talk about the O word. We don't say things are too hard or whatever. We just say we learn them. And I think that once you've opened your mind to how similar this is to WhatsApp, Facebook Messenger, all those other things, it feels, I don't know, I think it feels a lot more comfortable. And I know that everybody in this audience is capable of doing this. So
when I started using Discord, I'll agree with Eileen as well. So I was, thinking, how do I do this? It's, it wasn't like I came to it and you know what to do, but that is just like you've said, it's the same with anything. There is always something to learn. And I suppose it's a case of, I mentioned before how I was put off by another server that was in. And so being in the LGL server and seeing how that's run and sort of trying it out in there was what, building up the skill to just be able to navigate around, do things like, it's even stuff just like, hiding channels or muting channels and stuff like that you obviously don't know about to begin with. But the point is, none of it is difficult. It's just an unknown when you first start. So being active in another server and kind of trying things out and find your way around is the way to do it. So it's definitely all new because it's a new thing, but it's not technically, it's not difficult. It's just a case of having to figure out how to do it. If only there was a resource for learning Discord.
God,
what?
Boy, that sounds like a great idea. There is. Let's see. I'm just gonna slap it in the. There we go. I'm pretending. I didn't want to make a comment on the YouTube because I don't know. Doc Rock using his avatar makes me feel really. I'm like, this is wrong. It's his. But there you go. So that's the Discord for Creators server, and that's the place where I'll be able to answer questions, and that's where I'm going to provide my membership and course learnings as we get more and more sophisticated now. Let's see, Eileen, you think that's your block. You see it now. It's a decision to learn it rather than accept the block. Yeah. I mean, when Niels and Martine came to me a year ago, and I think Niels had actually suggested a month prior, and I kind of went, I don't know what this thing is. And then I realized what I was doing. And that's not the way that I want to approach technology, my business, and growth, period, as a human being. So I said, okay, let's try it. Show me how it works. Let's do this. And they were willing to be, my two little friends, they were willing to hold my hand and get me through it. And I peppered them with questions and started clicking buttons on my own, and it all worked out. So remember, LGL is all about growth mindset. If you need me to call Doc and get him on this broadcast and start kicking some butts and putting foots up and all that stuff, I will, but I don't think you want that. I don't think you want that today. I know I don't. It's totally official now, Simply Hobbs. I'm Doc Rock with a wig and shaved chin, says JP, and I don't know if that's a good thing or not. There you go. Okay, so back to what we were doing. Alec setting up a special area for his Ecamm Masterclass people. So now that we've got the role assigned, we're going to create a category. Now, this is my advice to you, and you can just say, no, I want to create like a category for all of my courses and then a channel just for Ecamm Masterclass. But I like the idea of doing it as a category because you might have different graduating classes. You might want to have a voice channel specifically for that class. I don't know. It depends on your methodology and that sort of thing. But you can assign roles to categories as well as channels. So I look for a way to give permissions as blanket as possible so that I don't have to keep changing things around when I decide to restructure. Does that make sense? I don't think I explained that very well. But we can show it.
I get you. Yeah.
Okay. So what do you think? How do you want to organize? Do you want to create a category for Ecamm Masterclass and maybe a category for masterclasses? You could do that too.
I'm thinking a category for like masterclasses and then like a channel for the individual ones.
Cool.
What do you think?
That sounds really good to me too. Okay. So your left hand category and channel pane, there's a couple ways you can do this, friends, to create a new category. One of the ways, Alec, I just discovered this morning, you can right click in an empty space and just say create, and you might have to, yeah, there you go. He's right clicked.
Cool. I didn't know that.
I know. This is the thing. I keep discovering ways that you can do things in Discord, and there's like 30 million different styles depending on what kind of folk you are. So you can right click and select create category, or you can go back to the top. You can right click on your server name. You can go down to create category, and you can select there. You can do it either way. Nobody's the boss of you.
Whoops. Capitalization.
I was gonna say your spelling. I don't know.
I figured out I can't be on camera and type at the same time. It's always atrocious.
It's weird, hey? There's something that just gets in the way. Your fingers are like, no, your mouth is moving. I can't. Your fingers don't work at the same time. That's very funny. Okay. And then the next thing I would do is I would select this as a private category. So everyone, the @everyone role cannot see this by default. Okay. Perfect. And now you can either add individual members or you can add roles to this category. So this is your jam. You might want your moderators in there. You might not. You can actually exclude moderators from seeing certain things if you don't want them to be. And yeah, and this is where you would add your Ecamm Masterclass as well.
So I'm guessing if this is all masterclasses, then I may want to separate them. So I was thinking, I don't know if this is the right approach, but having the category as being masterclasses, and then inside that would be all of the individual masterclasses as a channel. And so they get the role for that.
I see what you, yep, good point. I was getting ahead of myself. So yep, you're going to give your moderators there. And remember, by default, a server manager and the server owner can always see these things. So, so that's there. So yeah, you can do that. Oh, inner circle. Ooh, you're in a circle. Get to see all of your classes. I like it.
Yep.
I like it. And yeah, you can go ahead and press create category. And so when Alec scrolls down on the left, it'll be at the bottom. Okay, so he hasn't made it pretty yet. He hasn't done that, but all he has to do is right click on it and rename the category if he wants to. And he can change up the, he can go to edit category and he can make the name pretty and
copy that same
yeah.
thing.
See, Alec, he's kind of a smart guy. He's just gonna copy and paste from previous. So tell me about that symbol as well, because I'm sure a lot of people are interested. The one that comes before the pipe.
Do you know what? I don't know what it's called. So it's like a bullet point, and then I don't know what you call it.
A bullet point M dash something, and it's a special character, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
So it's same as you mentioned, going into the emoji picker, the character picker, and then I just wanted something to sort of step it out a little bit from the side, so it was more sort of like a heading of that. It's just a little minor thing. I don't know.
I really like that, and I'm gonna set a countdown timer as to how long it's gonna take Doc to ask me to do all that on LG. By the way, thanks very much. Now that I thought I had it all sorted. Okay, so now he's got his category. Alec can now create a channel within that. So he's gonna use the plus sign there and go ahead. Okay, so here's all the different channels, and he's just like, I'm creating a text channel right away. Text channels have the hashtag, #, number sign, whatever you want to call it. You can also create voice channels. Announcement channels are channels that can post to other servers and other people can't post to. So this is what you might want to actually use for your announcements, Alec, in your server, instead of creating text channels that people can't post in, because then people get that little megaphone and it just sort of triggers them that, this is just a place where announcements are.
Got you. Yeah, so I did create an announcements channel, but I see what you mean. Yeah, all of those are the ones where I've just removed anybody else from being able to comment. I see. Yeah, that would make a lot more sense.
Absolutely. And then the last one is a stage channel. I'll talk about this on an upcoming episode, off in the distance, but basically that's Clubhouse on Discord. That's all I'm going to say. It's just Clubhouse on Discord. Okay, so it's no video, it's all audio, and it works the same way as people coming up to the stage and all that kind of stuff. So anyway, there you go. Now, what Alec does not necessarily have to do here is he doesn't necessarily have to designate it as a private channel, because it's going to pick up the permissions from the category automatically. So that's why we want to create a category first with the permissions generally that we want, and then to add the channels underneath. Not that you can add a channel to a category that doesn't exist, but it's easier to do it that way. And yeah, you can go there. So my support bee's all in the way, isn't it, of the button?
There we go. It's just off the screen. I'll just click create channel.
Sure. And there you go. Alec has his new Ecamm masterclass. Okay. So right now, if he clicks on edit channel, which is just in the blue text in between the title of the channel and, oh, there we go.
Trying to get it all fitting in nicely for you.
You're so smart. I love working with you. So great. Okay. So there's a few different ways you can edit the channel. Yep, you can go to the gear sign on the left. There's even an icon at the top of the channel inside the center pane that says edit channel, so you can edit it there. Lots of different places. You can go to the whole server customization menu and you can do it there, but whatever your jam is, you can edit the channel. And now we can look at certain things. So Alec, all you have to do with your text channels that you want to make announcement channels is just click that button there. You got to toggle. The announcement channel.
Oh,
so
cool. Right.
That's just for you to do later. Okay.
Yep.
So yeah, now you'll go into permissions. And this is where Alec is going to add the actual role of Ecamm Masterclass. And he's going to say done. Now,
Just
what's
like that.
interesting, if you see right at the top, it says permissions not synced with category. So Discord by default wants all the channels to have the same permissions as the category default, or it's not that it wants to, but it's giving you the opportunity to have that all synced. Alec specifically doesn't want that because he wants different text channels in here to be separate depending on what products people have bought. Okay, but if you wanted to flip that around, all you have to do is click the sync now button, and then it's the same across the entire category. Does that make sense, Alec? Did I explain that?
Yeah,
Okay.
totally. Yeah.
Cool. Okay. So now he's got his Ecamm Masterclass added into that particular channel. So if I were to head into Alec's server, like let's say he went into roles, or he clicked on me somewhere in his server and he granted me the role of Ecamm Masterclass.
Let me have a look. Server settings in roles. This one, edit, is it? Do I go to that one?
Yeah, and then you should go to manage members. Is it autofilling?
It's not filling actually. Let me look. Add members to this role. There we go. There we go.
Okay. So now I have access to that. If I go into my Discord, and if I click on Alec's server, boom, I have access to the Ecamm Live Masterclass. Okay, so it's really slick. It's very simple to set up, and what you'll find is that at the beginning, doing this by hand is going to be no problem at all, unless you're in a situation where you're going to have 100 signups a day. I don't think you need to rush into a situation where you look at automation. And again, we're going to keep things simple at the start and choose to look at setting up the structure first, and then we'll add the automation later, because that is possible. Oh, and look at that, Mr. Inner Circle, new channel, who dis? God, Rich, that's fantastic. Okay, I'm going to look at some comments and questions to make sure that we haven't missed anything. Oh, I love it. JP is posting his notes from the chat. There you go. So Eileen is just questioning about the excuse me, new unreads. Why is it confusing? Well, I mean, it's a different indicator, but I guess you can take the approach that, oh my God, the world is falling, or it's just a notification that looks different, and as long as you click around and everything works the way that you want it to, it's cool. Yes, Eileen likes the formatting. You copied it. There you go. Let's see. JP is on a busted laptop. Okay. There you go. So Michelle must have accidentally created a stage channel. So that's awesome. You need to delete it. No big deal. Oh, we've got some sharing of other servers. Excellent. I like to hear that. There you go. Okay. Oh, Carlos, I'm glad this is really helpful for you. That's really important. So I don't know, Alec, do you think we've got a good handle on how you would create a category for your courses and add members as they come in? So remember, you could take the approach of just adding individual members to channels. You could say, okay, here's the Ecamm Masterclass channel, and I'm going to add Keely Dunn to it. Or you can add the role and then add people to the role. It's kind of like if you have ever managed a web server or anything like that, file servers, having categories of people, groups of people, and then assigning permissions to the groups, I think is a lot more efficient, and it will save your bacon in the end, because you don't have to remember the individuals. That's what I think.
Yep, definitely. it makes so much sense that way.
There you go. Principal Walker is late to class, but that's okay. We love her anyway. There you go. So what do you think? Is there anything else that you wanted to cover before we sign off? We managed to make this a 90-minute stream, which is pretty much every single stream I ever do. It's 90 minutes. I have an internal clock that just says, yep, 90 minutes. That's how long a field hockey match is.
That's it's cool. I mean, that's it's something I needed to do. So I'm glad you made me think about it. And I've learned a few things already as well. So all good.
Nice and easy. Excellent. Okay. Remember, gang, if you have any questions, you want to follow up on this, and if you want to talk more about other ways that you can use Discord to serve your community and how you're delivering education and knowledge to them, I would love to have a chat. You can come into the Discord for Creators server. You can come into LGL. Obviously, I'm there a lot as well. And there's lots of people there. Oh, goodness. Did I just see this? 30. Where's all the likes, you guys? Come on.
Terrible.
Yes. It's just, oh, it's like my heart just broke, or the thing that most people would consider a heart, but I don't know. It just broke. It shattered in a million pieces. There you go. That's hard. But Alec, this was awesome. I really appreciate the opportunity to be able to walk through a few things in your server with you, and I know that this was something that you would have been very comfortable in doing on your own and something like that, but it gave us the opportunity to show it off. And I think there's so many possibilities for you in the way that you are delivering content and how this can augment the experience for your people, because now they can come in just with a super casual question and your people can have a conversation even without you. About something that they learned from your Ecamm masterclass. So I love that. Okay.
I just want to thank you for turning me onto Discord as well. I know that it was a long road to get us all here, but yeah, I mean, it is just it is such a great way to actually build a community and have that conversation. And I mean, it's nice getting comments on YouTube. You know, I always really enjoy getting comments and responding to comments. But one thing that I hate about YouTube comments is somebody will comment, you'll reply to it, and you'll get the notification or see it in the YouTube studio. You'll respond to it. But then if there's any follow-up with that conversation, it's really hard to actually follow conversations in the comments.
Yeah.
So nice to have like another option for that side of things as well, to actually interact with people who are watching the video. So thank you very much.
That's a really good point. One of the ways that I follow up with questions that I get in my, social media life, whether it's, YouTube or Instagram or something, I'd say, hey, if you want to talk about this more, here's a link to my server and you can come talk about it. So you can still be engaged in those areas, but then the deeper conversations is absolutely something that you want to bring into a server. So I love it. It has absolutely changed how it's just changed my entire business, my brand, and my family. Like my people, they're so great, they're so active. They've gotten to know me as a person, so they're teasing me all the time. There's a current thing now where they're going to design a coin, a flip coin, because we toss a coin before the beginning of the match. And so they were like, oh, we're putting your face on one side of the coins. And I'm like, you are not doing that. That is the most terrible idea I've ever heard. And of course, because I protested, they insisted. So now I have a design contest going. And you can react to these things so spontaneously. And boom, I created a thread and said, all right, here's the design contest thread. And, who wants to moderate it? Somebody put up their hand and they're moderating it and they're going to take care of it. And we're going to have an emoji vote on the best design. And I'm going to make a coin, because this is what kind of craziness can happen in a server. So I absolutely adore it. Please don't be shy about just trying, because you'll be amazed at how quickly you learn the skills, and you start picking up the keyboard shortcuts, and you start clicking around and you start imagining the possibilities. So it'll happen. And hopefully hanging out with Alec and me today, you got some other ideas as well of cool stuff to do. So there you go. JP, it's official. I created an entire sphere in my mind map for Discord for creators. Oh my God, thank you.
Nice.
I'm rather flattered. Okay. Thanks again, Alec. This was awesome. And I'm really glad that the bushfire did not infringe on this, and that you're safe and your family's safe. And let's hope that keeps up.
Thanks to Doc as well for the keys to the studio, of course.
You mean the way I broke in the back door and just slipped on in? Yes, it's fantastic. I do really appreciate Doc trusting that I wouldn't break too many things other than my countdown timer at the beginning of the show. And yeah, I'm really looking forward to Tuesday. We're going to talk more on memberships, and Dina Taylor of Silver Lining Home Place is going to come on, and we're actually going to flip the script a little bit, and she's going to interrogate me about memberships and how you can provide that ongoing special perks sort of aspect that you see in, you know, YouTube memberships or Buy Me a Coffee or Patreon, and how you can do it so much more easily in Discord. And then on Saturday, Matthew O'Brien, Final Cut Pro expert, is going to come on with me, and we're going to talk about how his massive community is going to be taking advantage of his new Discord server as well. So you're going to hear his perspective on all of that. So I hope you join in, because it'll be really fun. And you are all very welcome. Class is going today. If you were in the Drop Squad, make sure, if you haven't signed up yet, click the links that the mods are going to pop into. We have substitute teachers in class today. So have fun with that. Please don't destroy anything. Don't, you know, whatever. But I can't wait until Doc comes back in 10 days and he's like, he sees all the bottles on the ground and all the furniture upended and calls the cops. It's gonna be fun. Thanks again, Alec. It was awesome, and we'll see you all around in the Discord server of LGL, Alec's Take One Tech server as well, and Discord for creators as well. Have a great day, y'all. Bye.